For you people who have never seen Bas Rutten fight, just watch this.
Oh, man, he's on Mark.
Welcome to Collector's Cafe. My name is Kirk Jensen, and this is another edition of Collector Coach. My guest today is Bas Rutten, a champion MMA and UFC fighter, also known as El Guapo. As the first European, he was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, and where Bas finished his career with an amazing 22-fight unbeaten streak with 21 wins and 1 draw. Bas has appeared on many TV shows and movies, including King of Queens, Here Comes the Boom, and Inside the MMA. Today, Bas owns the MMA gym, Rutten's Elite Mixed Martial Arts, here in Southern California, where he coaches champion fighters like Kimbo Slice, Samo Joe, and he's an inventor of the O2 trainer. Bas.
Yes.
Welcome to Collector's Cafe.
Happy to be here.
Yes. So you've had a very impressive winning streak. 28 wins, just 4 losses and 1 draw. I have to ask, where do you keep all your trophies?
Oh, yeah, that's how, you know, in Pancras, my friends at the K1, they would get these big, giant trophies. We didn't get that. We didn't get anything. We got a paycheck.
Fantastic. And your nickname, El Guapo. Where did that come from and what does it mean?
The handsome. I mean, that's the thing. Where it comes from is one of my favorite comedies is The Three Amigos, the movie.
Okay.
And I was having breakfast in Japan with a lot of fighters, and Tina Shamrock, the ex-wife from Ken Shamrock, was there, and she's Spanish. And so we're talking about the movie, and I said, what does it mean, El Guapo? Because El Guapo is the bad guy in the movie. And she says, it means the handsome. And I always used to call myself the most handsome fighter in mixed martial arts. And that's how they would announce me. I figured I'd do a little funny thing with it. And that's pretty much how it started.
And not that I'm one to judge, but do you think it fits?
It fits, yeah, good. The Sean Connery kind of looking, really handsome guy, rugged. Yeah, that's me.
And something very special happened to you just recently this summer. You were inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And actually the first European ever inducted into the Hall of Fame. How are you feeling about that? Can you tell us a little bit about that special moment?
You know, it's what I always say, it's the icing on the cake. You know, you think the belt is the belt, and then then suddenly to be recognized as one of the greatest ones there in the UFC Hall of Fame. Yeah, that was a really special feeling for me.
I know different Hall of Fames work in different ways, but who votes on who goes into the Hall of Fame with UFC?
I think it's the UFC. It's the UFC and maybe the fans. I never looked into that, how that works. Yeah.
Now let's go back to the beginning, to the Netherlands.
Oh, yeah.
How does a man get into fighting when you're among the tulips and the windmills?
I was a very sick kid. I lived in Tilburg for 6 years, then we moved to a different village, and for some reason I got eczema and severe asthma attacks. So needless to say, I was bullied a lot. When I was 12 years old, we went to France on a vacation with the family, and I saw the movie Enter the Dragon from Bruce Lee. And that was it. I go, man, if I'm like that guy, I don't think nobody's gonna bully me anymore. And that's pretty much how it started. That's where my love comes from.
Did you eventually meet up with that bully after a bit of training with
I did. After 2 years, yeah, only after 2-3 months of Taekwondo. And I was training with the adults. I had a guy who took me under his wing, and my confidence was rising because I was dropping brown belts there. And then I got into a fight with the biggest bully in town, and that was it. They surrounded me, and he started. And I knocked him out, 1 shot. The problem was he broke his nose in the process, so the police showed up at my mom and dad's doorstep. So that means no more martial arts for me. So I had to wait till I left the house around 20, 21, and then I re-kicked everything in there.
There's lots of different types of martial arts. Where did you begin with your serious training?
It was Taekwondo, and a form of Taekwondo called Shintai Karate. There was some throws in there. From there, I went over to Thai boxing. I started competing in Thai boxing, but I kept doing the other sports. And then once I started Thai boxing, yeah, I fell really in love with it because competing, that's really what I wanted. Later in life, I did some martial arts comedy shows. People really seemed to like it, so we started traveling around all Europe. We got on Dutch TV, European TV, and people really were gravitating towards it. And on one of these shows, a guy, Chris Dolman, was sitting there, and he said, man, I remember you from Thai boxing. Did you ever think about free fighting in Japan? That's what was going down at that time. And I said, no, I never thought. And he put me in contact with him. One day he calls me, he says, there's new fighters from Japan, from a new organization. They're looking for fighters. You gotta come in tonight. So I stepped in my car, drove to Amsterdam.
Which is a long drive. Is that the Pancrase?
That's Pancrase.
Where that starts? Okay.
That's how it started. I think 2.5 months later, I was fighting in Japan. It was the craziest thing.
Very good. In all your wins, which are many, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, one of my first one in Japan, that was a really nice one because that changed my life instantly. Like the next, I mean, people at the event, a couple comes and they put the baby in my hand and they want to make a picture with the baby. And the next day, people are bowing to me on the street. And I go, what's going on? You know, and then I saw the pictures in the newspaper of the guy laying on the ground and me doing the splits. and I go, wow, this is the craziest thing.
I understand doing some reading that you've never done a takedown.
I came in as a striker.
Yes.
And I still love the striking, but I never felt like I had to take somebody down. Now, if they would take me down, I would submit them. So it was a really weird thing, because if you look at my record, I got 15 submission wins and 10 knockouts. You know, so it's the other way around. People would think I had more knockouts. Well, and I never did a single takedown. So that means they always took me to the ground, and then I submitted them on the ground. So it's kind of a cool thing when you look
absolutely.
at it. Yeah.
So you're famous for the liver shot.
Liver shot, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about it.
It's a blow delivered to the right side of the body. For me, so with my left hand to my opponent. You want one?
Huh?
Okay.
I
You asked. He asked, is there a waiver that he has to sign? Maybe something.
just want you to know I'm dangerous, so my instinct might come in. So.
Okay, we'll see about that then. Okay, so I'm going to hit here. What you want to do with the liver shot, with the body shot, is like, I don't want to make a hook and not an uppercut. It's all of the above. I'm kind of going to stab it in there, and I'm going to tap it. I'm just going to start from here.
All right.
Okay?
Don't hurt yourself.
I say, no, I won't hurt myself, but I do 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to hit. So make sure you flex.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
You okay?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm okay. It's okay.
Okay, can we take a break?
Yeah.
Seems like an effective blow.
It's really effective, because they dropped me with it in my first Thai boxing class.
I understand from the liver shot, when you hit a person in the liver, it's almost an instinct. They got it locked down and they almost freeze for a moment.
A moment, and then they go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like almost, it's a really slow signal going through the brain. You're hit, ding, 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 and then you're going down. Yeah.
I can tell you, I was well braced. I almost went down. So, you're also known for the famous up and jumping split kick.
I don't know, I know where it comes from, because as a kid I would do that for fun all the time. I would make pictures and jump in the splits. Yeah. And then when I knocked my first guy out in Japan, it was 43 seconds. I had so much energy left, so I just jumped up to all corners, sides of the ring, and from that moment on, it became the Rutten jump. So now I had to do it. Even after my second fight, you know, I won, and I walked to my corner, and they come running to me, say, "You got to do the jump." Yeah. I go, "What jump?" He said, "Do it like first time." I go, "Okay, well, I do that." And then it became Rutten jump, apparently.
My passion is coaching. Tell me about some of the different students you've had, some famous ones that you've trained.
Well, the most famous one probably for the people now who tuned in late in mixed martial arts, Kimbo Slice, I trained him. But Mark Kerr, he was one of the Pride guys. And he was the biggest guy in Japan for Pride Fighting Championships. I mean, I was the commentator there. 45,000 people would be a small show, considered a small show. It was the craziest events there. Carlos Newton, Genki Sudo, Dwayne Ludwig.
Let's say when a young fighter comes in and would like to be trained by yourself to go to another level, is there something that you look or that you see that says this person's special?
Well, you'll see right away when they're calm, when they're collected. You know, I'm the opposite, so that's kind of weird. But you know, guys who have a certain focus, who don't talk about it the whole time, who don't, you know, most of the time the guys who try to get too much attention, wear all the shirts and everywhere, they walk outside with the wraps on their hands, and you know, like people, please see me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Most of the time those are not going to make it. You know, it's the guys who just love it and who always are there to train.
And so you mentioned one of the qualities about being a champion is being a good listener, so obviously coachable. Can you name a couple other real attributes that it would take to become a champion?
Discipline, that's it. If I say 8 o'clock, you're 8 o'clock there. Yes. And that's already when I weed out the guys who are not going to make it. Because the ones that come late and they keep doing it, they're probably the guys that are not going to make it. Or you got to be Brazilian, have to be Brazilian, because they're always late. That's what they do in Brazil.
At your studio, do you have a mantra that you have with your students that you use?
I'd say one line. I believe Henry Ford said it. How do you want to be remembered? That one line, and you can use it to apply to every sport.
Very good.
In this, you want to be remembered as the quitter. You want to be remembered as a guy with talent, but he never trained really hard and lost because of that. You want to be the cheater. How do you want to be remembered?
You know, simple is beautiful. How do you want to be remembered?
Yeah.
So let's say now you're a coach and your fighter is in a major fight, and you're in the dressing room with him. How are you motivating him? How are you getting him ready for the fight?
You know, that's every person is different. You know, they all have their different mentalities. So one is the hyper guy, the one is the relaxed guy who will be okay. Some of them you have to hit. Like, I'm never like that. I'm always just standing still and just waiting. You know, I never been that, you know, hitting, aggression with me is out, but some fighters need it. Aggression with me, if I start putting aggression in there, my mind thinks it's real, and then instead of punching from here, poof, because now I want to hit him, I'm going to do this. I'm going to load up. Well, that's like telling him I'm going to come.
Here it comes.
So it's a dumb thing to do. So being in control, being relaxed and calm, that is most of the time, that is the very best way. But there are some guys who get away with it, who are totally aggressive and totally brawl and come forward and then do it as well. So it's different for everybody. Most of the time, keep everything calm and relaxed. You know, give him 2 or 3 combinations. That's always with me.
Yes.
When I give 3 combinations for standing here, 3 combinations in the clinch.
Yeah.
You know, go so few combinations on the ground. That's it. And we did this for the last 8 weeks. Yeah. Just that. And everything else you ad lib. But some coaches, you go, if he does this, you do this. But then watch out, because then if he kicks you, you can block this. You remember this? Remember that thing that we did 2 weeks ago? You know, this guy's going to get, he can't see the forest anymore because of the trees. Too many trees.
Very good. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Keep it basic. Yeah.
Basic stuff always works.
So as a coach, what would be one of your most memorable wins that you've had with one of your students?
Dwayne Ludwig was always this guy that would do exactly what I would say. It would literally, I could steer him. It was like I had a joystick. I would say right straight liver, bam, bam. It would, like a second later it would come out. And with him I had some amazing things that we did literally in the dressing room. I suddenly go, oh man, I got this crazy combination.
Wow, yes.
And he would knock the guy out with it.
Yeah.
And one of the craziest ones is, and it's in the UFC, he has the fastest knockout in the UFC. And you see me hanging over the cage, and I look at him, and I had to, again, because I tell him he's going to come straight for it and he's going to throw a straight punch. I want you to step to the side, just cross. And the guy comes running in straight for me, he goes, poof, fastest knockout UFC history. I mean, but that you can say, oh, that's Bas' thing. No, that's the fighter. The fighter, because a lot of other guys would not listen to me, but he always had his trust, and it worked. That was really cool when that happened.
That's a special win. That would be as a student and a coach together. Yes. Yeah, so we talked a little bit about the mental side of with your coaching and the relationship you have with different fighters. Like, what would you say your coaching style is that would make it different, as far as the training part of it?
I really understand where power comes from and how techniques work. And I tell this to many students. I say, how do you, with submission? I say, people know what it looks like, but they don't understand the mechanics of it. Okay. If you understand the mechanics,
that's right.
It makes it much easier for you to learn. And that's with striking as well. I know exactly how. I have big name guys come in, and they will strike, and in 10 minutes I'll change them. And they go, how is this possible? I said, because nobody's telling you what to do anymore. I said, I'm just going back to the basics. I'm just telling you right now where the power comes from and what you have to do. And since you're doing it, that's why you're hitting so hard. And they love it.
Collectors Cafe, we have the largest website of collectibles that are insured for their authenticity. We're the world leaders, and I see that you brought some stuff here for us today.
Yeah, they were asking about my belts, but they're in the display case.
Okay.
So I figured, hey, bring the trophy from the Hall of Fame. I think maybe the people like to see that. You see, it's the UFC Hall of Fame, and then on the back it says Bas Rutten, the Pioneer Wing.
What does it take to be in the Pioneer Wing of the Hall of Fame?
You need to be old. A pioneer, the guy who started it.
I see you've got some beautiful coins here as well.
These are military coins.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about them.
Well, this is this one here. It's a special one. It's the Elite Special Forces I'm doing. I'm training.
Very good.
Can't really say anything more about that one. The United States Marshal. That's a really nice one.
Beautiful.
I found that.
Yeah.
Then we have here the Naval Special Warfare. Whoa.
Okay.
They have these coins made, and they gave them to the people who come there.
And these are the different associations that put these coins out?
Yeah, you go in and you teach a seminar. I do with a friend of mine, Amir Perez. He's a really great trainer with weapons and everything. And we travel, go Marines, and we do SEALs, and we train everybody.
Let's have some rapid fire questions.
All right.
Some quick answers?
Yep.
Favorite movie, Fight Club or Rocky?
Aha! Fight Club, my buddy is in there.
Most impressive fight you've ever witnessed?
Well, let's keep it recent. Rory McDonald and Lawler. That was an unbelievable fight. These guys beat the crap out of each other.
Yes. Greatest fighter that ever lived?
I always liked Fedor Emelianenko. No emotions. He was such a maniac, so calm.
If you could fight any historical figure, who would it be?
Hitler.
Hitler?
He would have a hard day.
Okay. Yeah, I know where I'd have my money. Bas, thank you for coming into our studio today and sharing your inspirational stories and things that a lot of people can probably take back with them and and understand what success is all about and how to coach and how to move forward. We really enjoyed having you today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, boss. That's another edition of Collectors Cafe, bringing the institutions and passion of coaching and collectibles together.
Visit collectorscafe.com.